So we have come to the revelation that Battlefield 5 is pulling more players than the first Descendant. So if you do not know what the first Descendant is, or have been living under a rock, okay, the first Descendant, they made such a big deal that the women in the game were so sexy and so beautiful that that was the only reason you should play the game. Guess what? The game had a massive free fall in terms of players. Okay, it had a massive free fall in terms of players, in terms of popularity. Well, guess what? Battlefield 5 is pulling more players than the first Descent. So we have Battlefield 5 here. It is pulling more players currently than the first Descendant. That is honestly kind of pathetic, okay? Because just remember, when Battlefield 5 released for the consoles, okay, Battlefield 2042, okay, it was basically destroyed by, gamers, quote unquote, that, oh my god, there's a woman on the cover. Okay, I didn't buy the game, but I only bought Battlefield 1. How dare they put a woman on the cover? Okay, maybe I should get Battlefield 5. Maybe I should consider getting it, but it's a multiplayer game. Okay, I don't really play these FPS games that much. Sorry. Okay, but Battlefield 5 was a game that was basically, criticized and attacked by SWGs before they were called SWGs, because there was a woman on the cover. There was a disabled woman with a prosthetic leg in the game. Okay, now it is pulling more players than the first Descendant as well. Okay, as well, it is okay. I don't think it's pulling more players than Stellar Blade, but at this moment. But it will probably eventually pass Stellar Blade in players. Okay. Currently, Stellar Blade is pulling 6,600. Yeah, it's not passing Stellar Blade currently. By the end of the month, it will probably pass Stellar Blade. Also probably pass Mecha Blade, too. Okay. And I just find it funny that the gaming discourse has changed so much over the past 5 years. Over the past 10 years, okay? Battlefield 5... They criticized the game for having a female character in the game. Okay. Oh no, they had a female character on the cover. Okay. And she isn't even that ugly either. Okay. Compared to some of the newer characters they put in Western games, she isn't even that ugly either. Okay. As well. But basically, they were basically like, Battlefield 5 is the worst game ever. Yeah, 0 out of 10. Woman on the cover. But then it's not outselling the first Descendant. A game that they made such a big deal about because the characters had a big pair of boobs and a big ass, okay? Okay. I just find it funny that Battlefield 5 is outselling the first Descendant. Okay? A game that is 100% selling its game based off of sex appeal, okay? To get, low-hanging fruit, people, they get low-hanging men, get men that will go through, that will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars so you can look at bikini skins for these characters. I just find the first Descendant an absolute trash game. Like, the first Descendant still has mixed reviews because instead of fixing all of the bugs, glitches, and connectivity issues and all of the actual problems of the game, okay, even like Nintendo is trying to fix the problems in Mario Kart World. They're trying, but it's not. They're still doing a bad job, and the first Descendant is doing. Okay. But we added boob shaking in the game. That's gonna revive our game 100%. Okay. No, it did not, Dumbo. Because guess what? The first Descendant still is a city game. Okay. It's still a garbage game. You still haven't fixed any of the issues with the game. And the same thing can be said with Mecha Break, too. You know what's funny? Both Mecha Break and the first Descendant, I don't know about Stellar Blade, but both of these games have mixed reviews. Oh, but the girl's boob sick, though. That's what matters. and then no one's buying the game. Okay? Because this stuff, nobody cares about this stuff. Okay? It generates interest on the first fucking week of the game. But the real test is if the game survives 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Mecha Break, Stellar Blade, the first Descendant have all failed. And Rotting, whatever that game's called, is gonna end up like that too. Okay? Battlefield 5, if you look at the player base of Battlefield 5, okay, when the game launched, no one was playing the game. It was before like Star Wars Outlaws. Okay? But the game has a healthy player base. It has gone up and down, but it has a very healthy player base. And this was a game, when it came out, everyone was criticizing it because there was a woman on the cover. Okay? And basically, it had a British woman in the game. And they're like, boycott the game! Boycott the game! And that's what the game overcame the controversy eventually. And it's funny, for the people who, complain about women being in Battlefield because it's unrealistic, but to buy fucking Mecha Break, to buy fucking the first Descendant, even though those games are grossly unrealistic, okay, as well, because they have, because they made the whole fucking game based around, jiggle physics, okay, instead of making an actually good game, okay. But the first Descendant, it just continues since the game's launch, taking notes. And actually, the studio, since December, has been operating this game at a net loss. I'm not surprised they're not just saying, you know what, fuck it, let's close the fucking servers. No one cares about this damn game anymore. We can't save it because we don't want to fix the game because we're that stupid to fix a goddamn game to make sure it works. Okay, the fact that you're being beat by a game that had such a massive and unnecessary controversy at once is pretty fucking embarrassing if you think about it, okay? Because they'll just say that because 5 or 6 years ago, okay, they get Battlefield 5 released like 8 years ago, okay? I remember everyone, including myself, complained about the game. Oh my god, Battlefield 5 is gonna be the worst game ever. 0 out of 10. How dare there be women in Battlefield 5? But then these same people will go buy First Descendant 8 years later because their characters look like this. Okay, you can't make this shit up, honestly. Okay, you can't make this shit up. Same thing with Stellar Blade as well. Okay, as well. And Stellar Blade, every single platform it's on, it falls so quickly. Okay, oh my god, it sold 300,000 copies in 1 week. Oh, second weekend it's only like 50,000 copies. And then they're like, but Stellar Blade's successful. Stellar Blade sold 6 million, 6 bazillion copies, okay? Just trust us, okay? Just trust us, okay? This is why people don't take these people, SWGs, seriously, okay? Okay, the reason why Tomb Raider and Metroid have been so successful, because they don't make the whole fucking game about sex appeal. They make the game about the story. They make the game about the gameplay, okay? As well, okay? Metroid, had some pretty interesting lore, and Tomb Raider is like Indiana Jones. A lot of people are like, oh my god, it's like Indiana Jones. Like, and guess what? No one complained about Tomb Raider back in the day, okay? Because there were no SWGs back in the day, complaining about how Lara Croft isn't sexy enough, or something like that, okay? And I really just don't understand why these people keep posting these massive wins, and these games they promote die so quickly, okay, that they're breaking records for games that die so quickly. I remember back in the day, when I still played Overwatch, everyone talked about how Overwatch is a dead game. No one's playing Overwatch, but Overwatch, I think still, at that point, still is doing better than the first Descendant, as well. And of course, you have the crown jewel of SWGs as well. Okay, what is the crown jewel of SWGs? And that's Marvel Rivals. Okay, as well. Marvel Rivals is actually currently right now has had a stable player base as well, but it's still nowhere near the 642,000 people playing the game, as the vast majority of people who moved on to play other games. As well. But Marvel Rivals has kind of just replaced Overwatch at this point as well. Also, Marvel is still a very popular IP, even though Disney ran Marvel practically into the ground. Okay, like the state of current Marvel is just an absolute embarrassment. Okay, if it ever wasn't for Marvel Rivals, Fantastic Four would be doing $20 million less at the box office. No, I'm not kidding about that one. If Marvel Rivals didn't exist, Fantastic Four would be doing way worse at the box office because there would be no genuine interest in Marvel anymore. So yeah, Disney should be kissing Marvel Rivals' ass to save Fantastic Four's box office as well. Okay, as Marvel Rivals is so successful, in fact, the DC is considering making their own Marvel Rivals as well with DC characters as well. But yeah, other than that, most of the games SWGs continue to promote have just bombed and has not sold well. Okay, this is just, I think when it comes to games, I think people just want to play good games. Okay, that's simple. Okay, as well. Okay, that's the reason why the same games are always doing very well in terms of popularity. Okay, the top 9 of the top 10 games are games that do not appeal. Games that appeal towards the vast majority of people, not SWGs. Okay, like Marvel Rivals does, and even then, Marvel Rivals was made by China, so that's already a pretty big reason not to play the game. Okay, as well. But yeah. But Stellar Blade has already failed. Has already dropped massively. And then they have this game. So that's the real horse gotcha anime game that they came out with. But the only reason why this game's doing this well is because the game is free to play. Okay, any game I think that's free to play will do well as well. But yeah, there we go about this video here. Also, for some reason, Team Mod Worlder has more players than Terraria. Yeah, make that make sense. Team Mod Worlder, versus for Terraria, has more players than Terraria itself. Yeah, make that make sense, okay? Considering the fact that, considering the fact that unless they're counting unless that's vanilla Terraria and then Team Mod Worlder is modded Terraria as well, which means the game would have around 58,000 players. Yeah. But yeah, Civ 7 is an embarrassment. Okay. Civ 7 by the end of the year is gonna have like 1,000 fucking players at this point as well. Okay. Maybe I'll make later or tomorrow or Friday. I'll make a whole separate video about Civ 7 and the failure of that game. Goodbye.